Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now May 13th of 2020, and ever since the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm, and exactly how things are really going to go by both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek, really trying to reinvent Star Wars as we know it. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that as of right now, they are in a position where they are trying to craft a new Star Wars universe, essentially that's going to be a combination of movies, TV shows, books, novels, comics, video games, and so on and so forth, that's really going to try and match itself up against the MCU. Now, do I think it really has a shot to become as successful as the MCU? That's a big question open on the table for discussion right now. You know, when you think about it this way, the MCU had a lot of source material to begin with, and let's not forget that Star Wars already has a lot of source material. It's a thing called Star Wars Legends. And thankfully, of course, you know, George Lucas, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau will all be using a lot of that Legends content from the 90s and the 2000s. In order to really give the fans something to really look forward to and to really invent new Star Wars material, whether it be for the TV shows or the books, the novels, you name it. Now, on top of all of this, one thing is for certain is that Kathleen Kennedy no longer has creative control over any of the existing Star Wars projects in the works except for the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series, which honestly is a big plus. Now, on top of all of this, what's really intriguing, of course, is that with Disney and Lucasfilm now in a phase of damage control, in order to save the Star Wars franchise and to reunite the fans around the world, to create a better future for the Star Wars brand, they are focused on the new Star Wars trilogy of films, as well as the new Star Wars universe, that will introduce a brand new mythology to Star Wars fans around the world. Now, it's noted that Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and George Lucas are all working together in order to create authentic Star Wars stories for Disney Plus, and of course for theatrical releases. Along with these projects, major retcons as well are going to be applied to the new universe by George, Jon, and Dave. Now, one of the retcons has to do with the character of Luke Skywalker in different timelines for the Star Wars franchise, where it's noted that one of the major retcons has to do with Luke Skywalker having a wife sometime after the events of Return of the Jedi, and that Luke's wife is said to be a primary character that helped with the construction of his new Jedi Order on the unknown world seen in the Last Jedi flashback scenes. Now, it's explained that George Lucas wants to make Luke's wife a very prominent character in the new universe for the fans to enjoy, and that she would serve as a second master to Luke Skywalker's Jedi students, including his nephew Ben Solo. This retcon is set to add more character development to Luke in his later years as a Jedi Master and who he connected with. Additionally, in another timeline, another major retcon that Dave Filoni and George Lucas are working on is one where Luke Skywalker as a Force Ghost during the events of The Rise of Skywalker was the one responsible for creating the vision of Han Solo that Ben Solo saw toward the very end of the movie. It's noted that Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost was able to actually tap into Kylo Ren's mind and see his memory just before he killed his father Han Solo, where Luke used this memory in order to create a vision of Han Solo with the help of Leia as she was on the verge of death and becoming one with the Force. Now, this is something that Dave and Jon wanted to do further to actually explain why Han Solo appeared the way he did to Kylo Ren so vividly in the scene, where additionally George, Jon, and Dave will be bringing Luke Skywalker back to life in a post-Episode 9 era, temporarily speaking, that takes place after The Rise of Skywalker, where he will have a major redesign for the fans to see. Now, Luke is set to appear older as a Force Ghost and will have a more wise look in the new universe once he comes back to life as well, that will actually play a role in Luke explaining new Force lore to Rey Skywalker while she builds her new Jedi Order on Tatooine, that will retcon certain aspects of the Force and the Jedi's past of hundreds of years. Now, this is of course going to be hundreds of years worth of history, where this is Disney's way to further expand the character of Luke Skywalker in the new EU. Now, the thing about this that really seems to be quite expansive is the fact that they're really trying to introduce Luke's wife in the new expanded universe, and that to me I think really does just kind of give us a sense that Disney's very, I guess you could say, ambitious about the future of Star Wars. What they're trying to do is that they're trying to draw from Star Wars Legends, and they're trying to really reinvent Star Wars by borrowing many aspects from Legends material. Now, it's unclear if Luke's wife is going to be Mara Jade or not, or a character similar to that. We've gone over that they will be naming her differently in this new EU. We actually talked about this a couple of days ago, that she will have a different name. As far as to whether or not she is going to be near similar to Mara Jade, that's still up in the air. They still do want to do something very significant with Luke's wife. The other thing to me that's very interesting is the fact that Luke, as a Force ghost, is the one responsible who created the Han Solo vision in, of course, The Rise of Skywalker, so that further explains a lot more as to exactly how Han appears before Ben. So, with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.